So usually I'm more of a classic 80s, early 90s SUV kind of guy. But my wife bought this nifty little thing. It's called a Tesla. It's a fully electric car, and it has this big screen and everything. I mean, it's just quite amazing. And it's so ergonomic. Watch, it has all kinds of games, you know, like almost like a video game, you know. Anyway, so I was like, hey, I just need to go look at a bunch of gardens today for people, do some consultations. I don't need to haul my giant truck, tractors, train, anything around. So can I use your car? And it's quite fun, actually. Anyway, I highly recommend it if you don't live a lifestyle like me, where you need to tow stuff constantly. But I do break for palm trees, as you know, and I've been admiring these trees for many years. In fact, these trees were really unkempt for many, many years, and I'm like, I could just stop there and probably get those trees for free from these people if I just go dig them up. But then somebody obviously moved in who likes the trees. Look at this. This is, I'm not kidding, probably one of the best trim jobs I've ever seen. So I wanted to pull over and just kind of show you guys what that's like. Okay, this is the Mediterranean fan palm. It's native to, you'd never guess, the Mediterranean. But look, they actually just trimmed this thing. This thing had dead material all the way up. You couldn't tell how beautiful these trees were until today when I'm driving by. I mean, you can actually eat your heart of palm right there. These are basically babies coming out the bottom trying to create new trunks, and sometimes they're persistent, sometimes they're not. And looks like there's one over there that gave up. I'll show you that. But the way to get rid of these is to take a drill and drill that down and kill the heart on each one of these things. But you can't eat that. That's heart of palm. And I'll show you. Right? Here's one sticking up. Watch. You don't believe me? Watch. A little deeper, it'd be more tender. It's pretty good. But anyway, yeah, Mediterranean fan palm. Chamaerops humilis, because it's humble, humilis. It lays low compared to other tall growing palms. But here you have 4 separate trees, actually. There's 2 here and 2 over there. As you'll notice, and I'll show you, each one of them is genetically different and expressing different look. This one has a really big head, kind of hard in the sun to see. Maybe over here would be better. Big head, big fat trunk. Big fat trunk. All right. Now this one has slightly smaller head. See the difference between the two? Big head, smaller head. That's like a medium. This is large. There's all kinds of ways they can vary from each other. They're just like people. You know, if you look closely, everyone's different. Even identical twins are different. Okay, and then you go over to, I think they're trying to sell this house. That's what's happening here. There's a truck over here with Signature Properties. So I think it's a flip home. This one here has a smaller trunk. See how small the trunk is? Okay, and then this one has a really big trunk. They didn't really trim this one quite as well. They kind of left some of the nubs on here. You really want to trim it tight, but this has a huge head. This is by far the biggest one. And this is a single trunk. Actually, it's 5 trees. There's one here, one here, one here, and 2 over there. So here's a longer shot of the beautifully trimmed trees. And as you can see, they trim those things absolutely perfectly. Very few people do this. You know, the only problem is their shears were not that sharp, and it kind of left them a little rough cut, which is okay. I mean, you know what? That's a chainsaw. They did that with a chainsaw, I bet. You really want to cut them with loppers. I'm going to cut them as tight as possible to the trunk. You know, with the chainsaw, you can cut a little too deep. They actually cut almost into the trunk there a little bit. But, and then, you know, here's another one. So they're all a little different. There's even a silver blue version of this plant. I think I'm going to take a photo of this one over here just to show people a still photo of what they should look like if they're perfectly, you know, trimmed up. It's night and day. So anyway, Chamaerops humilis, if you want something like that, give us a call. If you have something like this that you don't want, give us a call. I think this is going to be the perfect angle right here. Got our white truck in the background, but that's going to kind of set it off. And that's what I'll leave you with. I got to get back on the trail here and go see some gardens and help people create their paradise. Have a great day.